I wish we can play Manchester City every week. Is the title race back on? Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2. That was a brilliant performance from Manchester United. Brilliant performance. From the game plan to the individual players all carrying out that game plan and every single player performing to his maximum. Outstanding performance. We control that game. You don't need to have the ball to control a game. You don't. Same like with Atletico Madrid. When Atletico Madrid play, they control certain games without the ball. You can control a game without the ball by simply not allowing the opposition to play their game and not allowing the opposition to have their way. And that's what we done. We control that game and we control Manchester City. What Manchester City wanted to do, we stopped them from doing it. It was for me, a masterclass performance in respects of carrying out a game plan. We know that whenever we play these teams, these big teams that come out to attack us, that plays into Manchester United's hands, and that's what happened. And the minute you go down to us, you're in big trouble, because that means now Manchester City have to come out even more, and then they are more subject to a counter-attack, and that's what you saw this game. But an outstanding performance. Yes, Manchester City did not perform. Yes, they did not pull up. Yes, they were poor. But you have to look at United. We negated Manchester City. Whatever City wanted to do, we did not allow them to do it. We had numbers behind the ball. Our midfield, we ensured that the midfield area of the pitch was extremely condensed, was extremely compact. And because Manchester City played through their midfield carries their game. They go to the midfield, and from the midfield they go wide. But the midfield is the most key position and factor in Manchester City's game, and we had numbers in the midfield. Scott McTominay and Fred, we know what they give you. You know what Scott and McTominay will give you. They will give you running all game long. From minute 1 to minute 90, Scott McTominay and Fred don't stop running. They are tenacious. They are very good off the ball. On the ball, both of them are woeful. And that's what you saw this game. You saw McTominay and Fred, their pass completion was extremely low for midfielders. It was bad. They were passing the ball out. They were passing the ball to Manchester City players. But you know what you get with them. Because we are not playing them to dictate the tempo of the game and to control the game. No, that's what we got Bruno for, and we hope Bruno can do that. But we've got Scott McTominay and Fred purely to break up play, and that's what they done. I thought fantastic. Even when you look at how aggressive we were, it almost looked like we were bullying Manchester City with our strength. We were much stronger than them in our running. Look at Luke Shaw, how powerful he was. There were times when Luke Shaw was running through the midfield and Manchester City could not stop him. We were more powerful than Manchester City. We were more tenacious than Manchester City, and it was a very, very, very good performance. Let me say this. Outstanding performance and outstanding results in respect to the top 4 challenge. To the top 4 race, outstanding. To the title race, we are still 11 points behind Manchester City. The title for me is gone. The title for me is gone. Manchester City will win the title. They versus Southampton next game. It's a difficult game, but I expect them to win, and I expect them to win most of their games. So for me, the title is gone. This was a good game to solidify our top 4. The top 4 race and our position in the top 4. And so we also need to solidify second place. And I do think we can get second place, because Leicester will be dropping. Leicester got a number of injuries to their squad. So I expect Leicester to drop some points. Chelsea are a consistent team, but we are a couple points ahead of Chelsea. So we need to maintain that gap. So this was a perfect performance and results in respect of the top 4 battle. Title race. The title race for me is gone. Manchester City will win it. I have to give Ole props. He had a game plan. Each and every player bought into that game plan. But this is the game plan, guys, that we have for every game. That's why we struggle against smaller teams and teams that deploy a low block, because this is our game plan for every game. Counter-attacking football. We are a counter-attacking team. And how many times have we versed Manchester City from last season and we've beaten them? How many times? We've beaten them more times than they beat us from the time Ollie's been here, because they can't deal with our counter-attack and their gameplay plays directly into our hands. That's what we want. So the minute we come up against a team that plays front foot football, that goes full force attack, you're playing into Manchester United's hands, and more often than not, we will beat those teams. So this was an outstanding performance, and none of us saw this coming, because Manchester City were in such good form. We approached this game and came into this game in such bad form. But that's the thing with United and Ollie's United, is that we are inconsistent. One day we look like world beaters, like today. We look like world beaters, and in the next game we look like we can be a mid-table team. That's just United. We need to get that consistency. Every player on the pitch today was outstanding. Starting from the back, Dean Henderson, and I'm a massive fan of David De Gea, massive. I know what he's done for us over the years, being our best player over the years, carried us on his back, made outstanding saves, won us points. At one point in his career, he was the best goalkeeper in the world. However, I think that there needs to be a change of the guard. I think that Henderson definitely needs a proper run of games, and that's what he's getting now, and he is stepping up and showing his ability. So I personally definitely think that Henderson needs to be our number one. I think he's much more assured in the nets than David De Gea. When De Gea is in the nets and when the opposition shoots, you don't know whether it's going to go in the nets, whether he's going to make a mistake. With Henderson, there's much more trust and he's much more assured. So I think Henderson needs to take over the number one spot. That's personally what I do think. He's going to have a couple of games. This is his second Premier League game now that he started from the time Dave has went out to Spain. And I do think he'll start the next game as well. And I do think he needs to continue starting games, because he is a very good goalkeeper and he's proving that he's good. He's not making any mistakes. He's keeping a clean sheet, like against Manchester City. Kept a clean sheet against Crystal Palace. So I do think we need to go forward with Dean Henderson. Very good game as well, very good game. He was involved in the second goal. He threw the ball out to the wing, and as a result of that, we scored that second goal. It started with the keeper. It started with his number one, his vision. Number two, his execution. Perfect. So Dean Henderson, massive performance from him. I'll give him a 7. I think it was a very, very good performance. Defensively, he wasn't tested. So I'll give him a 7 because he had a hand in that goal. Wan-Bissaka, outstanding defensive play. Sterling couldn't get past him, but this has happened many times with Sterling and Wan-Bissaka. And that's why for me, you have to question also Pep Guardiola's decisions that he made. How do you start Raheem Sterling when Raheem Sterling, every time he's come up against Wan-Bissaka, he's failed? He can't get past Wan-Bissaka. So why start with Sterling? Why not start with Foden, who gives Wan-Bissaka a different, something different to think about? Because Foden, he drifts from outside to in, and he's just an all-round better footballer than Raheem Sterling, where Raheem Sterling wants to stand you up one-on-one. That's not Foden's game. So you have to look at Pep Guardiola as a Manchester City fan and say that he got it wrong. His selections were wrong. You should never start Raheem Sterling when he's coming up against Wan-Bissaka. He's failed in the past. Today was another example where he failed. He could not get past Wan-Bissaka. Outstanding performance from Wan-Bissaka, 7 out of 10. Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, solid at the back. City couldn't get past them. Solid, both 7s for me. Luke Shaw, 8. Luke Shaw was magnificent. I would even like to give Luke Shaw a 9. I do think I'm going to give him a 9. A 9 for Luke Shaw. Fantastic. Defensively, okay, Mahrez in the first half, yes, I think it was the first half, Mahrez put him on the floor, but Mahrez can do that to anyone, but that was one isolated moment. After that, Mahrez had no joy. He was very good defensively. Offensively, he was so good. And that's where I'm giving him a 9. His offensive game was extremely good. He was so powerful. Manchester City could not stop Luke Shaw when he started to run. Manchester City remind me of Barcelona. They're not a powerful team. They're not a strong team. They're very passive, out when they don't have the ball. When you make them run, they're very passive. They don't want that. They want the ball to their feet and everything must be played at their rhythm. We are a powerful team. We will dominate you with strength, and that's what Luke Shaw epitomized in this game. When he started running from deep and went into the midfield and ran on the wing, Manchester City could not stop him. And that's what I want to see more of from Luke Shaw, because he has the ability. He has the technical ability. He has the athleticism to go forward. So I was happy with Luke Shaw. I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. He got his goal. Fantastic goal. For Luke Shaw to be inside the box, wow, that's a rarity. That doesn't happen. He was in the box. He started the move off with his powerful running and he ended the move off as well. So I'm going to give him a 9. Fantastic performance. For me, he is the best left back in the league at the moment. He is the best left back. Going into the midfield, Scott McTominay and Fred. As I said, you know what they give you. Off the ball, they're fantastic. On the ball, they're poor. That's why when the smaller teams surrender the ball to us, we look so bad, because Scott McTominay and Fred, that's not their game. Their game is to break up play. And they are perfect players when we are playing the bigger teams and the teams that are better than us. They are perfect players. Once again today, they showed how good they are with the roles that you require from them. On the ball, they are poor. On the ball, they can't even make 10-yard passes. That's how bad they are. But off the ball, fantastic. They made it difficult for Manchester City. They closed and made sure the space between the lines was very narrow, was very condensed, was very compact. And that's where Manchester City operates. So Fred and McTominay, outstanding performance off the ball. I'll give them both 7s out of 10. Then you go to the number 10 position ahead of them, Bruno Fernandes. I thought Bruno was average. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought Bruno was average. I never see him do much. But that's because also we never have much of the ball. But I just never see Bruno do much. Bruno scored the penalty. As we know, that's what Bruno does. Bruno's game is, he scores a lot of penalties. And he's up there with the top goal scorers because he scores penalties. So he scored a penalty again. At the end of the day, you have to convert a penalty. So you can't criticize someone for only scoring penalties. Penalties win you trophies. Penalties win World Cups. Penalties win a Champions League. So you still have to slot the penalty, and I'm choosing Bruno Fernandes out of anyone in Europe to take penalties. Probably the only other person will be CR7. But Bruno Fernandes is up there. His penalty shootout is fantastic. I'll give him a 7 primarily because of his penalty that he scored. Primarily, his overall game weren't good. But he scored the penalty, and he won bad, you know. He won bad. It was a much better performance from him than what he had in his previous games, let's be honest. So I'm just going to give him a 7. I'm going to go to Dan James. I'm going to give Dan James. I never see much of Dan James, to be honest. I never. Dan James, defensively, very good. As Ollie said last season, and I was one of the people that criticized Ollie. Ollie said that Dan James is the best defensive winger in the world. That's not a good something to make. That's not a good statement to make, because as a winger, your game should be based on you going forward, not going backwards. But that's what Daniel James gives us. Daniel James gives us work rates. He gives us passion. He gives us energy. On the ball, he's not good enough to play for United on the ball. But off the ball, defending, running back, okay, you know, that was good from him today. But I'm going to be honest, I'm going to give him what? I'll probably give everyone a 7. No one really had a bad game. I don't want to be harsh on anyone. So I'll probably give Daniel James a 7. But that's just because I'm being lenient. You never see much of him. He never contributes so much on the ball. Off the ball, he was good. And that's what he gives you that Mason Greenwood doesn't give you. Mason Greenwood off the ball won't give you anything, but on the ball he'll give you some quality. So there are contrasts between those two players. I can see why you would start Daniel James in this game. I wouldn't, but I can see why you would. So I'm going to give him a 7. Marcus Rashford, I thought Rashford was lively. He made some good tackles. City had a counter-attack in the second half that looked dangerous with Kevin De Bruyne. With Riyad Mahrez, sorry. Marcus Rashford ran all the way back and got the ball off Riyad Mahrez. So once again, off the ball, everyone was good. On the ball, there's still questions over Rashford in terms of his decision making. Once again, making wrong decisions, running into brick walls, dribbling is not good. So there are places where Rashford needs to improve, but this game was okay. 7, as I'm saying. Martial, I give Martial an 8. I give Martial an 8 because number one, he won the penalty at the beginning of the game. He won the penalty for us. He was outstanding outstanding in terms of his hold-up play. You saw whenever the ball came to him, he kept that ball. He held the ball. He relieved us from pressure. He linked the play, and his hold-up play and his link-up play today was second to none. And he really looked top class today. Really looked top class today. His finishing, however, is still bad. And that's not something we link Marshall to. Marshall's normally a very good finisher, but his confidence is low. And strikers play off confidence. Strikers get their goals off confidence. When a striker's confident, he scores. When he's not confident, he misses. He doesn't score. We've seen with Timo Werner. Timo Werner, the last couple months, has been lacking confidence. He's been missing open nets. That's what happens with strikers. Marshall doesn't have any confidence right now. So that's why you saw even in the second half, he had an open goal, not open goal, but one-on-one with Edison, and he kicked it straight to Edison's left, and Edison made a save. That's supposed to be a goal for Marshall. But apart from his goal scoring, lack of goal scoring, apart from all that, overall he had a top class game. As I'm saying, his hold-up play and his link-up play was extremely good. Whenever the ball got first to Marshall, he held the ball. He held the ball, he relieved pressure for us, and he linked the play thereafter. So it was a top class performance from Marshall, which we need to see more of going forward. I was happy that he did start. I was happy that he started. Marshall has to start more for us because he's one of our better players. And we need Marshall to pick up form. Yes, he hasn't had a good season this season, but we need him to pick up form now at the business end of the season. Fantastic performance from Manchester United. As I said, we dominated Manchester City. We dominated and controlled the game. We control the game. You can't control the game without the ball. We control that game. Fantastic 3 points is what we need. We're 1 point ahead of Leicester. We're 11 points from City. Let's leave City. Forget about them. They're winning the league. But we need to solidify our second place. I do think we will get that second place. So guys, if you've watched this video and if you've liked what you've seen, hit that like button. Don't even hit that like button. Smash that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, subscribe right now. I'll see you all for our next game. This is for the fans. Peace.